I'm mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. You guys can hear me, right? Everything's good? Everything's all right? Just make sure the audio works here. We'll go live in a moment. Got to warn you guys, as always, that I do not currently have a good webcam, so we're just going to go with what I got. It is what it is. Looks like shit, but you know what? We deal with it. We do the best we can for now. All right? Let's watch this cool transition. Transition. Oh, all the lightning and the thunder. Oh, man. How you guys doing? You guys doing all right? Having a good night? So say hi to everyone in the chat. We got Gustavo Facchio here, Marina Cruz, Flip Dew, Albie, Tenno, Sargent. That music's kind of fire. Yeah, dude, I love Zelda. Let's see here. And Afton Timmy Jr., Brian C., Corey Baum. Let's see here. We got he was playing WoW on Twitch earlier. Yes, I was. I was playing WoW on Twitch earlier. If you guys would actually tune in on Twitch, you'd know what I do over there. I don't want to hear anyone now accuse me. You never streams on Twitch. I just did. It's not my fault you weren't there. Not my fault that you weren't there on Twitch. Turn that music back on. Why? Because I'm... No. Yes, I have a Twitch. Green is really not your color. Purple and gold is more your style. You know what, Corey? I really don't care. I have blue eyes. You can argue blue is more my style. Tenor Prime is the second guy I'd ask for a voiceover in a commercial. The second. Who's the first? You enjoyed your night like usual? What's up, Nintendo Gamer? How you doing? You having a good night? Oh, tonight, all Super Chat donations and all that will lead to some shoddy shots, you know. We got some Miller Lite, of course, you know, some beer. We got some non-light beer and a Leinenkugel's Summer Shandy. Now, Leinenkugel's is actually brewed in my hometown where I was born and raised on the playground where I spend most of my days. So those are the cheap shots, right? You know. Anything that's like $5 and under. More than that, then we get out the Dr. McGillicuddy's, and then I got some Jaeger if we start getting some $10, $20 donos. I could get nothing tonight. Who knows? Maybe the only donos we get is the one I do right now where I crack my beer because I'm going to, be lame and super chat myself just because I can. That's right. Because I can. What do I want to crack first? I want to crack the Miller Lite. You know what? We're going to crack the Miller Lite. Save the Shandy. I like your room. So this is my studio. Literally, that's all it is. You can call it a home office, I suppose, if you would like to use a different terminology than studio. But for all intents and purposes, this is literally just for YouTube. This whole room is specifically for YouTube. It's a rather big room. Size of probably most people's living rooms. So back there is the basically completed podcast set now. We got the bigger TV back there now for guests. We've got all the foam panels up. We got both desks, although we got junk on both the desks right now. Obviously, you're seeing some of the collection stuff that used to be in some of my other videos. That's still all up on this wall over there. Yeah, there's the couch. We can play games and game on the TV, 4K TV that's just off screen here that I would use for live streams. You are seeing a reflection in that TV back there. You're seeing a reflection of my new monitor. I have a second monitor over here that's a 4K 60, specifically to edit my 4K footage and stuff like that I do on YouTube now with my new camera, which is over there on a tripod. That camera doesn't really work for live streams very well. It doesn't focus very well for live streams, so... What are you going to do? It's because the camera's too close. I can't distance it in my setup here. So, whatever. I want to get a new webcam that's not so shit. Like, this webcam's running at, like, 15 FPS or something. It's pretty bad. The one I want to get's like $200, but it is what it is. How you guys doing tonight? 10-0. So if I make $35 donations, that's a lot of shots. It's also a lot of money. But yeah, that is a lot of shots. And I would probably do every single one of them. Let me take my $1 shot, though, quick. What a way to start my stream. Any giveaways tonight, says R. Nope. I got to wrap up my giveaways for this month still. There's still time to enter up until, through Wednesday next week. Winners announced on Thursday. So I still have to wrap up those giveaways. I'm not going to do any special big giveaways tonight or anything. The webcam's better than your phone camera. That's a little sad. This webcam's from the 90s. It's a really old webcam. Nice studio. Much cleaner than your actual room. The studio's a mess right now. Like, let me just show you. Let's see if this camera will work. I mean, look at all that. Does that look clean to you? Does that look clean to you? I mean, maybe it is compared to your room. I don't know. But, like, it's not, that's one nice thing about a webcam is I can move it around. Timmy! Timmy Jr. Sorry, I had to do the South Park reference. Thank you so much for the $10. By the way, as always, I try to remind people while I'm doing drinks and all that, we're going to crack this Dr. McGillicuddy bottle for that $10 dono. As always, I remind people, drink responsibly, be of age, don't do anything stupid. Don't binge. People always assume because I can handle so many shots that I'm a binge drinker. I am not. It takes a lot to get me buzzed. I can't help it. It's the way my genetics work. I don't know why, but my whole family's that way. It takes a hell of a lot of booze to even get us buzzed. Hence why I can do this kind of stuff on stream and still be responsible. So, cheers. Ooh, woo, ooh, Nelly, ooh, darling. Let me see. It is actually cleaner than your room. Tequila shots all night long. I mean, if we start getting $100 donos in, I don't have a choice. Rexy wants to know how's the health going. I did an update on Twitter about this. So I put 9 pounds back on because I got really stressed out over the last 3 weeks of college. So I just wrapped up finals. I'm on spring break right now. And let's just say it was very stressful. I ended up getting an A and a B. I got A's on both of my finals. But I got an A and a B in my class. A little disappointed that I got a B. I was getting an F in that class 3 weeks ago, though, the class I have a B in. So I worked my ass off. The problem is it was super stressful. So I gave up on focusing on my diet and my workouts and said I need to get – I can't be taking – I can't do 2-hour workouts. I can't be, worrying about what the fuck I'm shoving in my mouth. I need to fucking get my shit done. So I got my shit done. Put on 9 pounds. Now I'm on the way back down. I'm down 2 pounds from the 9 I gained. But, that's kind of the thing. Like, don't get discouraged. Like, I'm not discouraged because I put some weight back on because I was having a freaking rough time with college. Like, yeah, there's going to be periods that you have a rough time and you're just going to say, fuck it. The key thing is once the rough times are gone, get back to it. So I'm back to working out. I'm back on my diet. Everything's going to be fine. I'm not too worried about it. Corey, you going to drop that hundo? I highly doubt Corey's dropping a hundo. Pretty sure that he would get in trouble. Let's see here. Just got a Google Pixel, Google Pixel 4a 5G as a late birthday present. It's a massive upgrade. Yeah, over the LG Stylo 4. That's a huge upgrade. Congrats on that new phone, man. DJ Striker, thank you for following. Was that over on Twitch? Why is my thing not showing? Why can I not see Streamlabs? You are failing me today. Streamlabs, what are you doing? Studio? No, wait. Dashboard? Well, sure, I guess I can open it on that screen. That's not what I wanted to do. But well, at least I can see what's going on. So yeah, DJ Striker follows over on Twitch. Thank you so much for that. Oh, Sonic Man the Best, you rated me on my Twitch stream right when I ended it? Poor bastard. Poor bastard. Sergeant says that Mr. Beast donated $10K right now, but I had to do something embarrassing in return. What would you do? I mean, I would assume it would be his idea on what I had to do, because Mr. Beast always has the ideas. Like, hey, I'll give you $10K if you do X, Y, or Z. Now, he's not going to make me do anything that's going to get me banned on YouTube. He's not stupid. So, probably. Whatever embarrassing thing he wanted me to do, I'd probably do it. For $10K? Why the fuck not? As long as it's not something that's, like, against YouTube's TOS. You're in college? I thought you were 40. Ouch. Ouch, Wolfstar. Damn, why you gotta do me like that? Why you gotta do me? I ain't 40. What the fuck? And by the way, people always think, you're in college? What are you, 20? You can go to college at any age. There are, like, people in their 80s in college. But no, I am not 40. Holy shit. I'm also not 20, but I'm not 40. Let's see here. Yo, nice job. B is a good grade. Don't worry about it. I could have did better. I have A's in all my other classes. I could have did better. I'm disappointed in myself. I could have did better, but it is what it is. I'm glad you got shit done. Dude, it's hard, man. Especially when you're like a parent of 3 and everything. Dude, it was a lot of stress. It was a rough 3-week period, but it's done. And now I get to relax until my classes start up again on Sunday. So I don't have that many more days left to relax. Been kind of taking it easy at the YouTube channel. So you can see I've been kind of chilling, for a bit here. Logan LeBlanc hits us with the $1 super. Thank you so much, Logan LeBlanc. Let me get your little beer shot in here because, hey, cerveza. Cheers, man. Thanks so much for the dude. I'm just glad that I actually got my college shit done and got grades that I'm okay with. Let's see here. Do you think Breath of the Wild 2 will release this year? Yes. Let me see. I'm down to 267 from 321. The one thing that really helped me is to not think about that I wanted to lose 100 pounds and instead focus on smaller goals. Oh yeah. That you got to focus on, like, yes, I have the long off goal, but obviously in the moment you don't think about your long off goal. You think about short goal. Like, hey, by middle of April I want to be 5 pounds lighter. By the end of April, maybe 10 pounds. But don't focus on the 10. Focus on the first 5. Right, like that's obviously a key thing in losing weight. Is don't focus on what the long haul goal is, even though you know what it is. What's up, Seahawks 24 rule? I see you, man. Welcome. Just call the new Switch the Super Nintendo Switch. My man out here in college, dude. What's wrong with college, man? Outside of being stupidly expensive, and I'm probably gonna be in debt the rest of my life. Nate's fiance is like 20. I mean, here's the thing. Right now, I fucking feel great. I feel like I'm fucking 23. My body doesn't look like it did when I was 23. I was skinnier, but fuck. Dude, I feel great right now. I feel fucking fantastic. And just like that, YouTube now just made my stream rated R. I dropped 2 F-bombs, so, What's the FTC rating for that, right? If you can drop 1 and it can still be PG-13, but you drop 2 and it's rated R. Going from an F2, yeah, I went from 58% to 85% in 3 weeks. It was rough journey, but I told myself I am not letting myself fail college, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how stressed I get. So I busted my ass and turned my F into a B. So I'm proud about that. I am proud about that. Have I seen the new Marvel show? Which one? I've seen WandaVision, if that's what you're talking about. I have not seen the new movie. Or wait, oh, you're talking about the new? It's not a movie. It's a show. The Falcon one or whatever it's called. I forget what it's called. No, I have not seen it. What I did start up today, actually, I started watching The Mandalorian. Now, I have not seen any of The Mandalorian. So I started season 1. I think I'm on episode 3 now. So I started that today. Or maybe I'm on episode 4. Maybe it's episode 4. Pretty good so far. I'm liking The Mandalorian. I'm a big Star Wars guy. But, you know, what's weird about the Star Wars thing is, like, when Disney bought it and they came out and, you know, did their episode, what was it? Episode 7, 8, and 9. Dude, I was all into what they did in episode 7. And then, like, episode 8 started being like, I'm not so sure if I like what they're doing in episode 8. And then I didn't even bother to watch episode 9. So I still haven't seen The Last Jedi or whatever it's called. Still haven't seen it. I'm going to watch it eventually. I just don't know when. So I started, I kind of stopped paying attention to Star Wars after that. And then obviously life gets in the way and stress and everything. But now, you know, I watched WandaVision, so I'm slowly getting caught up with any Marvel stuff I've missed. And now, you know, now it's working some Star Wars stuff, and now I'm getting into Mandalorian for the first time, and it's a good show. It's a good show. I'm in school for computer programming, GB. You start college again in the fall? Nice. My sister makes fun of you for being a nerd. Now she needs her computer fixed. Who can fix it? The nerd. So, okay, so my fiance brought up the word nerd today, right? She fucking loves me. She loves that I'm a nerd. Nerd is not a derogatory term. Own it. Own that term. Don't let her poke fun because you're. Own that shit. Own that shit. Your sister needs to get the fuck over it. Nerds tend to be really intelligent people. Own that shit. Own it. My fiance calls me one, but she does it in jest. She doesn't, you know, she actually loves the fact that I'm all nerdy and computer geeky, even though she sometimes gets frustrated with technology. She knows I got her back. Does anyone have Crash Bandicoot 4? Great show. What is my passion? Well, my passion's YouTube, but I'm also a realist, and I don't make enough money on YouTube to do it for a living. So, what am I studying? Computer programming. Do you know when Nintendo Switch Pro coming out, and can you play your games on it? I mean, you'll be able to play your games on it. I don't know when it's coming out. Bloomberg says 2021, so that's all we got. They said holiday 2021 to be specific. Good show, then KK comes in wreck it. Who the heck is KK? What's my personal hopes for Switch Pro? That it exists. That's all I'm going to go. That it exists. That's what I'm sticking with for right now. You want deeper thoughts on that, you got to check out the Nintendo Prime podcast. We've talked about it at length on there. You got a 3.0 last time. Now 7 years later, I'm holding a 4.0. Geology. Lots of science stuff, yeah. Well, congrats. I'm glad you're doing good. I don't have a 4.0, but, you know, this is my first B, so I have 6 A's and 1 B so far. 6 A's and 1 B. So, I mean, it's not a 4.0, but I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I was invited to be on the honors club or whatever. But maybe the B will knock me off of that invite. Who knows? Zach S. Network says Nintendo Switch Pro, SoC, Ampere, or Lovelace. I have no idea. Kathleen Kennedy. You know the whole tobacco about Gina Carano. I don't know anything about the Gina Carano stuff. Like, I don't even know who Gina Carano is. I'm assuming that she must be an actress in the show. I'm assuming. I don't know what she did before that. Because maybe it was MMA. I'm trying to think of what I vaguely have heard about it. I think I met her. Is her character in season 1? I think I just met her character in season 1, in episode 4 or whatever. Anyways, I know she got fired. I don't know why she got fired. Don't really care about any of the drama. Like, all the off-screen drama, unless someone is, like, assaulting, raping, or killing people, I just don't care. Assault, rape, killing. None of those, pedophilia, I guess you could throw in there. None of that shit. I just don't care. Live your life, make your own mistakes, do your own choices. I don't give a fuck. I don't think anyone else should give a fuck either. It's your life. Have your own opinions, have your own choices. I don't know why the fuck she got fired. Don't care. As long as she didn't do any of that shit. Did I ever get suspended from school? I had an in-school suspension in 5th grade. I hope it exists and that you can actually obtain one at launch. What is my favorite block in Minecraft? The uninstall block, because I don't play Minecraft. You want to know, if people ever want to know why I'm not a more popular YouTuber or a more popular streamer, dude, I don't play the shit that people want me to play. Play Minecraft. Play Among Us. Play Fall Guys back when that was a big deal. Hop on all the trends. Like, what's the latest trend on Twitch? Hold on. What's the big game on Twitch right now? Let me see here. Let me organize my games. What's the big games on Twitch right now? Hey, Misclick is live on Twitch. I like Misclick. So let me see. Minecraft at 123. We got League of Legends still up there. Grand Theft Auto 5 popping off. See, I don't have any interest in GTA 5, and that's got over 500,000 people watching on Twitch right now. Fortnite at 160. I don't mind Fortnite. Fortnite's all right. I'm not very good at it. So people don't like to watch a guy who sucks at Fortnite. So those are just the recommended games, huh? So they're still recommending Fall Guys? Yeah, it's like at 12,000 viewers. That's not that many viewers. I mean, Mario Kart 8 has more viewers than that. But still, so like the big ones on Twitch right at this moment are League of Legends, which is just always big. It's been around forever. Minecraft, which again is always big, been around forever. Grand Theft Auto 5, which has now been around forever, and now Fortnite. So like, I'm not really into any of those games. Fortnite's probably the closest thing, and I'm not interested in getting good at it. So, yeah. I don't know what else to say other than, yeah. So, because I don't get into those games, I can't grow my streams and get like a big audience because I just don't play the games that people want me to play. Are they seriously going to leave Final Fantasy VII half-made on current consoles? Yup. I mean, Final Fantasy VII is still not going to be done for like another decade, that remake. Because the next part's not going to be the rest of the game. I guarantee you there's going to be at least one more part after the next part. So, like, the game's not going to be done anytime soon. MMA fighter and one of the main secondary characters of Mandalorian was going to get her own Star Wars show, but couldn't keep her shit together on social media. See, that's the thing. I don't care what people say on social media. Again, if they're not murdering anyone, they're not raping anyone, they're not into pedophilia, like, not committing hate crimes or some shit. So they maybe have some bad takes on social media. I don't give a flying fuck. Who cares? Like, I don't know what the deal is with her and why she got, quote unquote canceled and then, they fired her, but who gives a shit? Like, I don't know why people care about any of that shit. Dude, I say stupid stuff on Twitter every fucking day. I'm lucky that I'm not a bigger fucking person with a bigger following because I'd be canceled already. And even then, if I do ever become popular and big, someone's going to go back to all the shitstorm of tweets I've made in the last month, and they're going to fucking find something to try to cancel me over some bullshit I said, and I'm just not going to apologize for any of it. Like, even if the opinion or some hot take I had turns out to be a bullshit take, like in, a couple of years, hey, at the time, maybe I wasn't fully informed or something. I'm not going to apologize for being uninformed, for not knowing fucking everything. Like, I'm supposed to, like, if you want to, what's your opinion on the Gina, whatever the fuck her name is? I don't fucking have an opinion. Am I supposed to know? I think unless she did one of the cardinal things I think that you should lose a job for, I don't give a flying fuck what they say on social media. I don't care if they're not sensitive about certain fucking topics or they're just wrong. Who cares? People say bad shit all the fucking time. How are you today, my fine man? Says Wizardo the Red Fluff. I'm alright, I'm pretty good. Someone just got deleted for spamming. Please don't spam. My Breath of the Wild gameplay was dope. Thanks. Yeah, I'll probably continue that Breath of the Wild stuff eventually here. I want to beat the game again before it comes before Breath of the Wild 2 comes out. But I'm kind of slow doing it because I want to know like when Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out, and then I can kind of like pace my gameplay of Breath of the Wild up to when 2 comes out. What was the question? I came in at a weird time. Yeah, it's all right. Don't worry about it. Tweet, Twitter, witch. What the hell? Playing the stuff people want you to play doesn't make it anyways. It's an overflooded market at the end. I love your channel as you do it, and I just hope it can succeed the way you want. Who was here for the Lionel stream? Dude, that stream was legit. That's one of my favorite streams I've ever done. Dark Charizard. Are you going to play Monster Hunter Rise? Eventually. Probably not tomorrow. My children don't have school tomorrow, so I pretty much don't have time tomorrow. Because that's a game you don't just like boot it up and play it for 5 minutes. Like, you need at least an hour, 2, 3 hour sessions. And it's going to be hard to do with my kids home. So, when do I think the Switch Pro will come out? I'm hoping at the end of this year. That's what Bloomberg is saying. And when I got my first Lionel kill, yep, that was dope. Dude, I worked hard at it. And you guys can see my skill getting slowly better and every single time I fought it. Almost every single time. Beautiful Joe collection. Good luck with that. 300 hours minimum. Yeah. Monster Hunter is a game you gotta dedicate to. You gotta dedicate that time. You gotta put that time in. You gotta put that time in. Hey, thank you to myself. When I think about me, I drink a shot. Oh, just a shot of beer. Monster Hunter just seems blah to me. That's all right. It's not for everyone. If you play the demo and you're not into it, that's cool. It's not for everyone. That's the thing about Monster Hunter. It's just not for everyone. And it's okay that it's not for everyone, you know? You're Lionel farming on Master Mode, and it's difficult to find the weak ones. You must find the weak ones, my chosen children. Oh, that's funny. Favorite NES game? Favorite NES game? Favorite NES game? Good question. I don't think about the NES that often. Maybe Star Tropics. Really like Star Tropics a lot. I was mentioning in the direct that we would have more info on Breath of the Wild 2 later this year. What do you think that'll be? Oh, by the way, for any donation to Super Chat, you guys can do song requests. I always forget to bring that up. You can request like Nintendo music and stuff. We don't get in trouble for that anymore. So, if you want to like request, Zelda music, Mario music, whatever, you guys can request that kind of stuff. You can request most video game music. There's just a few out there that they're like, oh, we're gonna copyright claim. Rawr. So all donations and super chats, you can request music too. I forget to mention that sometimes. What's going on behind the scenes at Nintendo Prime? I'm on spring break. I just finished 2 classes. I got 2 new ones starting this weekend. Easter's coming up quick here, so there's that. What else? Just paid some bills today. Me and my fiance are doing awesome. She's probably upstairs watching TV or maybe doing homework herself. She's in college too. I don't know. Life's going good for now, but I just got off a really stressful 3 weeks of college, so. Star Tropics, yeah. Favorite jet ski racing game. I mean, Wave Race. It's like the only one I've ever... Oh, no. I did play like an arcade game once. That wasn't Wave Race, but... Xenoblade Chronicles 2. What about it, Brian? I'm assuming you want music from it. But, like, is it just any song I want from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 or what? You have anything specific you're thinking of? Just, getting it typed in here. We'll just play it right off YouTube. I'm going to turn down my desktop audio. Don't need to amp my speakers. Yeah, any song is good? Alright. Chronicles 2 music. Let's see here. Let's just pick a song here. Man, there's a lot of collections. Let's see. Here, we'll just do the Smash Bros. Medley. Why not? You guys hear that? I had it turned down on my end, so I couldn't hear it. Oh, all right. I kind of like having the mic right here. It's just so much closer to my mouth. Put it in my mouth. Things you only get happen live on Nintendo Prime. I gotta do the shot for that too. I wonder what folks at Monolith Stuff are up to, except co-developing Breath of the Wild 2. They're working on the new Xenoblade game, and they're working on a new IP. But that's all I know. Do I use a soundboard? No. You mean like a mixer? No. I used to use a mixer. I don't really need it. I use the Scarlett Focusrite. And you could like change my volume of my mic on it and stuff like that, but I might get like a GoPro or a Go XLR or something like that eventually, but just because it has like included sound effects and stuff, but I don't really need it, you know. Any reports on an updated shell, or will it be the same layout with a new screen and chipset? Probably the same layout with the new screen and chipset. I don't know what's up with YouTube today. I literally see chat pop up on your screen before you see it in the actual chat. Yep, same here. Like I see Tingle or Groose, but that's not in the actual chat. Isn't that weird? I do have my stream set. It should be like literally within a half second of live. I have that working today. Sometimes that doesn't work, making the stream quote unquote that live, but it's actually working today. So the audio sounds better than most YouTube channels. You mean my audio? My audio? Well, this is an AT2035, which is a really nice microphone. You know, it's not like balls to the wall, you know, the bee's knees. You know, I would prefer a Shure SMB7, but $400. $400. But I do have a nice microphone. It does require power. It is XLR, and I do have a really nice sound interface for it. So it should sound good. It better sound good. I've invested a lot of money to make this shit sound good. So it better sound good, damn it. I'd be very disappointed if it sounded like shit. I know sometimes in like my HTN videos it doesn't sound as good because the microphone's not by my face. Obviously, the microphone being by your face creates a better sound. And then like for my HTN videos, it'll be like that. It'll be kind of like that far away from me. Which, by the way, it doesn't sound bad, guys, but it's not as good as, you know, having the mic right here. You just get a higher quality sound. But I don't have that in my HDN videos because I don't want the mic like covering my whole face on camera. Hey guys, how's it going? This is Nate from Nintendo Prime. Blah blah blah. We got Forest Temple music from Aaron. Forest Temple. Now we talking Ocarina of Time. Forest Temple. I'll play it after this song. The song ends in 2 minutes. Are you talking Ocarina of Time? Are you talking about a different game entirely, a different Zelda game? You know, you might not even be talking Zelda. There's temples in other games. You know, we're talking Tomb Raider. What are we talking about? Cheers, Aaron. Whoa! That was not intentional. Oh, on the bright side, I get to do this again. Lightning. That was a totally unintentional switch there. Favorite Angry Video Game Nerd episode? I don't know. I don't really remember specific episodes. So it should probably be at 85 million now. It'll beat both PS4 and PlayStation 5. We'll see on PS5. I have no idea. PlayStation 4 is probably going to top that. We'll see on PlayStation 5. We don't know what PlayStation 5 is going to be at. It's way too early to know. From Ocarina of Time. Gotcha. So we got about a minute left on this, and then we'll get to yours. Oh, let me get typed in here. Ocarina of Time, Forest Temple music. Do I play Fortnite? Sometimes. I do play it sometimes. Haven't never played it on PC though. I don't know. I have a gaming PC. I don't know why I haven't tried it on PC. I also have PS5 and Xbox Series X I'm playing on too. I haven't had a shot in 2 weeks. Maybe this weekend. You're tempting me, Nate. You do you, man. What happened to the podcast? Nothing. Nothing happened to it? Why? Are you disappointed there's no episode this week? So here's the thing. The podcast is not weekly, guys. The podcast comes when it comes. We have a goal on Patreon to make it weekly. Because right now, my focus with the podcast is on a high-quality show. I didn't feel that if I put an episode out this week, which I could have recorded one yesterday, that it was going to be a high-quality show. Eric and I were really tired because we were doing a lot of work to get this new TV set up. We had to get a hacksaw out. It sucked. So we had to rerun cables. One of our guests dropped out, and it was turning into be one of those weeks where we could get an episode out, but it wasn't going to really work out to be a very high-quality show. And if you notice, in the first 4 episodes, right? We have 4 of them plus a couple bonus conversations. Every episode's been banger. We've been getting a lot of views on them. So we've had a lot of views on them. We've had, everyone who watches it seems to really be loving the show. They love the set. They love the quality of the audio. They love the quality of the conversation. It's really, truly a massive leap over what the Nintendo Prime podcast used to be for the first, I'd say the first run of the podcast. It went for about 120 episodes or something. That podcast, while I'm proud of it, it was more of a learning experience. So when we relaunched it, restarted it, rebooted the podcast, you could tell it's a much higher quality product now, like significantly higher quality. Now, I could do that quality every week, But right now, I don't dedicate myself to making sure I have a big guest or a good guest every week that makes for a good conversation, or that I have, that I'm doing a lot of pre-planning of my episodes. I have some vague ideas. I have some people I invite, and things kind of happen when they happen right now. I'm not sitting here dedicating a lot of time every week to make sure we get a banger episode out every week, which maybe I should, but I don't right now. What will ensure that happens is, we have a stretch goal on Patreon. Now, you don't have to support on Patreon. I'm not begging you to support on Patreon, but if you love the podcast and you want it to actually be guaranteed to come every single week, and I mean guaranteed, this isn't old podcast bullshit. This is guaranteed to come every single week. We have a stretch goal, and it's an ambitious stretch goal. Okay? We have a stretch goal of $500 per month on Patreon at patreon.com/NintendoPrime. That will guarantee, it says right here, we're at 99.26 on Patreon right now. It says the Nintendo Prime podcast is guaranteed to run every single week. This covers the logistics and the time spent for editing, curating, hosting, and, making sure time is consistently set aside for one of the best shows on the channel. This ensures it stays a weekly affair. Literally, it will happen every week no matter what. When I'm on my cruise in the middle of the damn Caribbean, in July, there will still be a podcast episode that week if we were at $500 a month. It will happen no matter what the logistics are. But it's one of those things that for now, I'm not focusing on making it every single week because I have other content and other things I'm doing in my life. I would love to make the podcast a massive focus of the channel because I love the podcast. I think it's one of the best pieces of content. The current podcast as it stands today is like the best piece of content I think I've ever made at the channel. It's awesome. And like having like extra conversation pieces in between episodes like we did a couple times with Eric. Love it. And I don't have to just do Eric. I can do that with other people. Love it. I love having like an extra. It's it's almost like a bonus episode, but it's like a mini episode, right? Love it. But like I'm not dedicated to doing that all the time. So we have a stretch goal that will afford me the time to do less time at my job, more time on my channel, and that time will be dedicated to making sure that podcast is a banger every week. It comes out every week. So it's an ambitious stretch goal that we might never hit. I don't think I've ever made $500 on Patreon before. So it's an ambitious stretch goal. We have other stretch goals beyond that. We have lots of ambitious goals all the way up to 10,000 a month, which God will fucking never hit that, right? I don't think that's ever going to happen. But how would I feel if Breath of the Wild 2 was actually named Breath of the Wild 2? It'd be, it's not our first. We got Splatoon 2. We're getting Splatoon 3. It would be an interesting naming convention for a Zelda game, but did I end up having to sell my PlayStation 5 Series X or Switch? Nope. I got a couple roofing jobs. Those roofing jobs are now done, but I picked up a couple roofing jobs, ruined my knees, got bills paid. We're all good. Switch is outselling PlayStation 5 everywhere. Sony exclusives are coming to PC, so I don't know if lots of people want... You can't measure the success of PlayStation 5 right now because Switch is outselling it. Switch is in the middle of its life cycle, has more units being produced. PlayStation 5 is selling out of every single unit that comes off the manufacturing line is sold out for PlayStation. They can't make enough of them fast enough. So Switch is outselling PlayStation 5 just because there's not enough of them being made. It's not because PlayStation 5 couldn't potentially be outselling Switch. Nintendo's just able to produce more Switches. That's all. Let's see here. So, yeah, nothing happened to the podcast. Coming back next week, we have a couple awesome guests for next week. We got Player Essence. You guys might know who he is. Maybe you don't. I have no idea. He's a fellow YouTuber. Player Essence is coming on next week. We got two guests. So is Holly Wolf, for anyone who might know who that is. So we have Holly Wolf and Player Essence coming on. So those are our guests for next week. Facts kill opinions. How's it going? I thought someone else said something about the channel. Maybe I missed it in there. Oh, Jamanda Bop said, you tend to make more frequent videos that don't take as long to make. Yeah, depends on the video. Here's the news video takes a little bit longer. But like a single video, research done and everything, I don't know, probably an hour, 2 hours maybe. Have I ever considered taking on a larger project? I have done some larger projects. Any game review is a larger project, always a larger project. But like I've done other longer form projects on the channel. I have done things like what was it called? Guys, remember that one episode I did where I debated with myself? Whatever it was called, arguing with myself. That's what it was. Where I played a character. I think in that one I was Link Nate and Business Nate, and I was arguing with myself over portable versus docked Switch. That was a long form project that took months to put together. Didn't go over very well with the audience, which is fine. It is what it is. Like the hard thing with long form projects is you can put all this work and all this passion into it. Then you put it up, and you get 500 views. And you go, as much as I might have enjoyed it, that was a lot of time that I could have used and spent some of that time with my kids. And could have did something else, maybe more productive, that is more successful in life. Like right now, if I put out a news video, and that news video gets 700 views, all right, whatever. I didn't waste like my whole fucking day, my whole week, my whole month making that video, so it's cool. The next one will probably do better, right? Like it's easier to not worry about views as much when you're not doing content that takes a shitload of time. Now, the exception for me has always been the podcast. So I didn't up the quality of the podcast because I thought it was going to get a lot of views. Now, it just turns out, since I brought the podcast back, it's getting more views than ever. But I also know I've been pushing the podcast episodes with the giveaways. Don't know what the views are like without the giveaways. I guess I kind of have a good idea. The last episode did about 1.6K views in the first day. And the first day was largely not about the giveaway. So I guess I do know. I guess the podcast has grown. But the point is that the podcast is always different because podcast is something I'm personally really passionate about. I like podcasting. I like talking. If you guys can't, I'm literally a live streamer streaming in my studio right now. Nobody else is in this room, and I'm able to talk on and on and on and on and on and on nonstop. I like to talk. I have a lot of opinions. I have a lot of things I want to say. Some of those things are unpopular. Sometimes I'm just flat out uneducated. Happens. But I enjoy conversations. So I always knew the podcast is something I wanted to be around no matter what. And if I'm going to do a podcast, I want to do it different than you see so many other people in my space anyways do it. Right? You have Spawnwave, who does a live stream podcast, every Saturday. Gets as many guests on as he can, like up to like 12 or 16 or whatever the hell it is. Talks for 3 hours. Super long form. Not everyone on the cast really gets to say much during the podcast because there's just so many people on the podcast that while you watch it, it's like the same main 4 dominating voices. And then every now and then someone else will chime in. You're like, oh, wait, they're on this podcast? Like the podcast that Review Tech USA was on, like, I don't know, a few weeks ago. It's like, I heard him say like 5 lines in 3 hours. It's like, what was the point of having him there? There's that's just, in my opinion, like, there's not a point of having the people there when they're not going to say much. Because sometimes they feel like there's so many guests, they don't want to step on people's toes. Now, when I was on this podcast, I've been on it twice. I don't give a flying fuck. I got something to say, I'm going to chime in. But that's me. That's my personality. I'm not afraid to step on John's toes or step on Player Essence or step on RGT or Dreamcast guy or whoever else is fucking on. Like, Nate Drake when he's on, like Nate the Hate. Like, I'll step on anyone's toes. I don't care. I got something to say. I'm going to fucking say it. But that's me. Not everyone has that kind of pushy personality when they're guesting. I don't care that I'm guesting. You invited me on the podcast. I assume it's because you wanted me to talk. If you don't want me to talk, don't invite me on, right? But yeah, so there's that podcast. Other podcasts, there was obviously Wolf Den's podcast I used to listen to before his brother stepped away from the channel. That was kind of a cool one. That was kind of a brother situation, both in the same room, both heavily focused on different things. One on like movies and comics and stuff like that. The other on video games, and they had like a very interesting dynamic. Both of them also were fans of retro gaming, so they had a lot of interesting conversations. That was kind of a fun. I was kind of like brothers getting together and just shooting the shit. That was kind of like a cool vibe show. But I don't want my show to be like that. Also, it was another live show. A big theme is a lot of these podcasts are live. But not every gaming podcast is, right? Like, you have like Easy Allies, right? I listen to the Easy Allies podcast, not every week, but maybe like once or twice a month. And you know, they're just they get together. It's pre-recorded, edited together. They have segments, they have sponsored segments, all that jazz. And they, you know, shoot the shit about video games, and it's great. There's Friend Code, another podcast I listen to, like, you know, and then there's like sports podcasts I listen to as well. Like Locked On Bucks. That's a Milwaukee Bucks podcast. I listen to that one. That's like a daily podcast. Kind of Funny Games has their own like daily shows that I watch. So there's like a wide variety of shows I watch, and I don't want to be like those shows. That's my thing. Like with the Nintendo Prime podcast, I don't want it to be like that. I want you to tune into a Nintendo Prime podcast, whether it's audio or video. I mean, audio wise, you know, it's always just people talking, right? But when you tune into the video version, you go and you watch that video version. I want you to watch it and distinctly know that's a Nintendo Prime podcast. Whether it's the Nintendo Prime podcast, whether it's a different podcast in the future. Maybe I end up doing a sports podcast at some point. Maybe I end up doing an Xbox podcast or a PlayStation podcast or a PC or like a general gaming podcast. Maybe I expand and do more podcasts someday. That's actually some of the stretch goals on our Patreon, by the way. I want you to tune in and know, oh yeah, that is the kind of quality, that's the kind of podcast we expect to see, we expect to hear, the kind of guests we expect, the kind of conversations we want to hear, right? Like, I want people to be genuinely excited when an episode of the podcast is coming, and I think that's why we had someone earlier, or, you know, Gimble Gab was like, what the hell's a podcast? Like, people miss it. It's not coming this week, and people are all, oh my God, I miss it. Like, yeah, because it's a really fucking good show, isn't it? Isn't it? I just listened to the last episode of the podcast that we did, episode 4, yesterday, because someone made a comment on one of the videos. Like, I made a news video about something, and someone made a comment. So basically, Nate, you were 100% right in your last podcast episode. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I went back and listened to the podcast, listened to the whole podcast, and I was entertained by, like, not to be narcissistic, because obviously I talk a lot in my own podcast, but I was entertained by my own podcast. I'm like, huh. I know I'm making a good show if I fucking love it. So that's kind of like, I don't know, I'm trying to make content I'm proud of, but I just don't have the time to dedicate to make sure that it happens every single week at the quality level I want it to happen at. Anyways, catch you up with the chat. I'm not going to go through and read all the stuff I missed. I know I just kind of went on a long tangent there, but dude, like, it is what it is, you know? I have a good time doing what I do. But I would love to make more long-form content, but the kind of content I'm more interested in is more podcast content. If I was to do more long-form stuff, I'd want to expand podcasts. I'd want to do more in-between podcast episode conversation pieces. I'd want to do more conversational stuff. By the way, we have a website now, NintendoPrime.com. Shameless plug. I post news there. News that sometimes doesn't end up on the YouTube channel. What's up, Rhinos Inc. Gaming? How's it going? Hey, we have almost as many likes as viewers. Sweet. Did I miss a super chat in there? Oh, I never played the Forest Temple music. Hold on. Because I kind of went off on a tangent there. Let me get that Forest Temple music going for you. No, not the 10-hour. Not the half-hour version. Come on. There it is. Sorry, I totally forgot to play that. My bad. Apologies to Aaron Curdy that it took me like 18 minutes to get to this song. But there you go. Now it's playing. Nate Dogg and Pasties Only podcast. MVC dumped their own YouTube channel. Wait a second. They don't use their YouTube channel anymore? Nintendo Voice Chat doesn't? Hold on. Nintendo Voice Chat. Hold on. Do they really not use that YouTube channel anymore? I mean, it's not super huge. Do they even make weekly episodes anymore? MVC is now on IGN Games. What? Is it getting more views over there? Let's see. They were doing anywhere from 15 to 20,000 views a week on the MVC channel. What do they do? What do they do in the last 2 episodes on IGN Games? I didn't even know IGN Games existed. I better sub to that quick. I follow IGN's content, so. So what they did, what IGN did is looks like they put all their podcasts, all their gaming podcasts on one channel, which, I mean, that's not a horrible thing to do. Putting all your gaming podcasts on one channel is not like the worst thing. So like they have Game Scoop here. That's doing 22, 24, 24. They have podcasts Unlocked on here now. That's doing a lot of views. 47,000, 36,000. Obviously, they have Podcast Beyond. And then there's Nintendo Voice Chat. Oh, it's getting 14,000 in the one episode. So it's getting about the same viewership. So, was it a dumb move? I don't know. I mean, IGN Games has 468,000 subscribers. And now it's the home of all their gaming podcasts. So, I don't know. Is it dumb? I don't know. The viewership isn't negatively affected, so I don't know. Can't really say it's dumb when I don't see it really. I don't see anything bad that happened in doing it. All right, let me read some of this stuff here. Tim A. Jr. says, question, in a recent video you said you were adding Steam as a platform of choice for the gift cards, but in videos post sense you just it's still Steam's still a choice. Really anything like it could be good old games. It doesn't matter. Like any of the platforms that deliver games, you can if you win the $100 one or the $20 one, you can choose that. I forget to bring it up because it's just not at the forefront of my mind because I don't buy a lot of PC games, so I don't think about it very often. But yeah, totally, it's still an option. I just forget to bring it up sometimes. Did you ever play Sea of Thieves? Yes, I did. Back when it first launched. I haven't played it since it got good. That's the problem. I played it back when it was a little rough. But now it's good, and I haven't played it since. I probably should check it out again. Advanced Media Networks here. Shout out to you, man. How's it going? I know. We still got to sort out that tech channel that you want to get going. That I want to get going, too. Dude, I love tech. I want some new tech. Can't get my hands on anything, man. Everything's sold out. Need those 5000 series Ryzen's up in here, man. Dude, I want one of those Gen 4 freaking boards. So I can have a Gen 4 M.2, man. Fuck. Can't get hands on anything right now. Dude, 6900 XT, let's go. I want that shit. Here's the big thing for me now. So I have 2 FreeSync monitors. Now, FreeSync can technically work with GeForce, but I don't give a shit. Give me 6900 XT. I'm going Team Red. If we have a tech channel, Advanced Media Network, here's the thing: you go Team Green, I'll go Team Red. Get our bases all covered. If we ever get that tech channel going, you're Team Green, I'm Team Red. I'll go AMD all the way, even if their GPUs fall behind like massively. Even though the 6000 series and the 5000 series did pretty well. All right. Switch Pro is going to use NVIDIA's Ada Lovelace architecture fabbed at 5 nanometers. That's your opinion. So to bring that up, so it talks about more Switch rumors in my title, and I haven't really talked about it. So what happened is a well-known PC part leaker been really accurate with a lot of NVIDIA stuff in the past, responded to a tweet. Let me see if I can find this and show you guys quick. I know I follow the guy on Twitter, but I forget what his name is. I'm gonna see if I can find the thread here. Just looking. Of course, I'm not gonna find it now because that's not it. Is this it? Nope. Must be on page 2 now. I'll find it. Give me a second. Basically, this well-known leaker responded to a tweet about the Switch Pro and said ADA, which, if people don't know what that means, ADA is a reference to the Orin GPUs that are being made for cars that don't come out till next year, or at least won't be in cars until next year, is more accurate to say. And then he clarified later that he's just talking about, Lovelace, and that's it. He tried to be like, hey, which, by the way, Lovelace is the Orin GPUs, their new architecture. And he's like, oh, by the way, we're not talking about, he tried to back off and be like, oh, because everyone's starting to get excited that he's talking that, oh, wait, Switch Pro is going to use Orin. It's going to use that new stuff. And he's like, nah, I was just making a reference. But why were you making a reference in response to a Switch post? Because if you're making a completely unrelated reference to Lovelace and the Orin GPUs, it's completely not related at all to Switch. Why would you respond to a Switch article by making that reference? And of course, he hasn't come online to clarify that. So some people are like, oh, it doesn't mean anything. He was just saying, wouldn't it be cool? That's not what he said. So now there's all this, oh my God, did he just leak that we're getting for sure the Orin GPU, which, by the way, the Orin GPU CPU combo has already been sort of leaked out there as possibly being what is inside a Switch Pro. So it's not even the first time I've heard it, but it's also really? That's what we're talking about? Alrighty then. I mean, it's pretty exciting if they're using the latest and greatest, which Nintendo hasn't done ever. That's always exciting when they're using the latest and greatest like that. Have I played E.T. on the NES? Hell yeah. Greatest game of fucking all time. No. Game is horrible. I don't even think you can beat that game. Yeah. Does anyone know, is E.T. beatable? In my opinion, E.T. is not beatable. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe one of you guys out there, one of you old school gamers, have actually beat E.T. Went through the torture that is that game and beat it. Let's see here. Tech Channel needs to get done, and AMD needs to ramp up production on the 5000 series Ryzen's. The X470 boards, and NVIDIA and AMD need to make GPUs that are great at gaming, but shit at mining. I mean, the GPUs are great at gaming. It all depends. See, Advanced Media Network, it all depends on what you mean by great at gaming. Yeah, GPUs are great at mining, but they're always going to be great at mining. They're going to have great hash rates. But they're also really good at gaming. A 3090, you can... I'm not saying that you should, but technically you could game at 8K on a 3090. But you can game at 4K and get pretty much 60 FPS on close to max settings on a 3090. I've seen it. 6900 XT could do 4K at 60 in some games. 1440p has been the sweet spot for a while, though. But as for ramping up production, so here's the thing. According to Linus Tech Tips, we know why you can't just ramp up production. There are two companies that make semiconductors. Those two companies, their factories are running at 100%, and they literally cannot make any more. They are making more products at the moment than they have ever made in the history of semiconductors. The orders from Amazon and NVIDIA and Intel are higher than they have ever been in the history of PC components. The companies that make the semiconductors just can't make them any faster. So, like, you could say they need to ramp up. They can't. They can't make them any faster than they are. They're literally making them as fast as it could possibly be made right now. Now, the two semiconductor companies are looking to open up new factories in the U.S., but it's going to be like 3 years. And one of those factories costs $35 billion. The other one costs $17 billion. It's not going to happen for 2-3 years. So reality is they literally can't make them any faster. There's nothing they can do about it. What needs to happen is demand needs to go down. And demand isn't going to go down until the pandemic's over. Demand is higher than it's ever been. And that's really the problem. That's why we're having these issues. Because demand is at insane heights. That's never been seen before in PC component history. What are we going to do after all the Zelda news comes out? I feel like there won't be anything for a long time. What are we going to do after all the Zelda news comes out? Splatoon 3? Mario Kart 9? Mario Odyssey 2? ARMS 2? New Xenoblade game? New Kirby game? New Pokemon game? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's always more shit coming. It'll be a bit for a new Zelda game, but so. By the way, there's been a Zelda something coming out every year for quite some time. We just got Age of Calamity last year. We had Link's Awakening the year before. We had the port of Hyrule Warriors the year before that. Breath of the Wild the year before. Like, there's something Zelda every year. Now, a new Zelda game might only come like every 5 years, but what are you going to do? What's your current computer setup spec-wise? I am currently rocking a Ryzen 2700X. Which is fine. It's actually really, it's not a bad CPU at all. I'm having a little bit of issues with some of my 4K scrubbing on my timelines. Don't think that CPU was intended for 4K editing, but whatever. And then I have 32 gigs of RAM running at 3200 megahertz. Kind of slow by today's standards. You can get 4000 plus speed now, but that's what I'm rocking right now. And then I have I only have a Samsung 850 Evo 500 gig SSD. I need to get some M.2s and some stuff up in here, but whatever. And then I have a 5700 XT. I used to have a 1070 that I sold when I was having some issues, and then I was rocking some freaking 3200 KS NVIDIA Quadro card from like a decade ago that was just dog shit. But I just needed video out because my CPU doesn't have a built-in video, so I needed to have just something so I can fucking get video off of my computer, a video out and use my computer. So then, a friend of mine, I can't say who, this is a behind-the-scenes buddy, kind of like a silent partner in a way, with the channel, like completely silent partner. Was able to procure me a 5700 XT in the middle of a pandemic, which you can't even buy these things brand new. He procured me a 5700 XT and sent it my way. So I have a decent GPU. It's not what I want. I would love a 6900 XT, but I can't get my fucking hands on any of that shit. So, and it's all expensive too. Even at MSRP, which the prices really aren't that bad at MSRP. It's still like it's not like I have that kind of money just chilling. Let me just rip that on my ass quick. Garuro Desert Music, please. You gotta donate to Request Music. The spring showcase did not show the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, despite it supposedly being releasing in spring. Is there there is an Xbox event tomorrow? Yes. I mean, so what's your point? It's coming to Switch. I wouldn't worry about it. It's also possible it might be as powerful as the PS4 Pro. That's been a thing that's been floated out there, I know. The ET alien is real. He was in Area 51, and the nerd broke into the... Jesus, Sonic Man. Name is because you're a Metroid fan. Nope. I mean, I am a Metroid fan, but that's nope. Someone in the chat want to enlighten Plum Fan Games on why my channel name is Nintendo Prime. Someone please disappoint him. I hope the Lego Star Wars Saga Skywalker Saga is ready to go. Launch day for Switch, but we'll see. It's going to come to Switch, but hopefully at launch. Hey, Timmy. OOT Gerudo Desert music, please. Got it. There it is. Ocarina of Time, Gerudo Desert. Gotcha. Gerudo Valley, I think it's called, music. Classic right here. Classic music. Look at that shotty in too. I don't like what Nvidia did. So, excuse me. So, I disagree with you that they should gimp the GPU hash rates. It's not going to make supply. Miners are not why we can't get our hands on the GPUs. I encourage you, Advanced Media Network, to go check out Linus Tech Tips channel. He's talked about this at length about what's happening and why it's not good. Having the GPU hash rates is not good. One, it's just creating e-waste because once the mining craze crashes in the next 6 months, those cards they have to buy specifically for mining can't be bought by gamers. They're just garbage because you can't game with them at all. So what they're doing is they're forcing, oh, you're a miner. Well, go buy our mining specific cards that are not good at anything but mining. And then when they're no longer useful for mining, they're garbage. When really all those mining cards are basically just a 3060 and a 3070 with some things altered to make them not good for gaming. Or you just make 3060 and 3070 and stop fucking around and making two different cards that are the same fucking wafer. You don't need to half the hash rates. Mining has nothing to do with why the cards aren't available. Because look, they did it. They have the hash rate. And guess what? You still can't buy a 360 or 3060 or 3070. Because why? Miners aren't why the cards aren't in stock. It's because demand is 30% higher than it's ever been in the history of PC components. The history of PC components. And the manufacturers are maxed out. They can't make them any faster. It's impossible to make them any faster. So they're actually making more GPUs than they have ever made. And they can't keep up with demand. It's not just about the mining. Yeah, mining boomed again. Okay. But, excuse me. Even when mining boomed last time, it was still not impossible to get GPUs. Not for this long. The reason it's impossible for this long, it's been going on like 8 months now, is because of the pandemic and because people are at home and people want to upgrade their PCs. That's just what's been happening. Sucks. But it is what it is. Besides, don't you have the Connects? Hit up your Connects, AMN. Hit up your Connects. You know what you should hit up your Connects for? You should do what I'm trying to do. I'm currently in talks with I don't know, maybe I can't talk about it yet. You know what? Fuck it. I don't have a contract yet. I am having private conversations with CyberPower PC, trying to convince them to sponsor a video and send me a pre-built computer that I can keep that has some pretty high-end specs. But I don't know if I'm going to pull that off. But we are in a negotiation phase, so we'll see what happens there. But you got some Connects, AMN? Hit them up. And if it's not working for you, then what you do is you hit up your Connects and you tell them, hey, I got this friend named Nintendo Prime that really could use a content creator PC with a 3090 and like a 5950X. You could really use it. You should really help a brother out. No, it's all right. Yeah, the people already get around the gimping hash rates. Yeah, that was something that Linus brought up as well. He said, and the thing is, they gimped hash rates one other time, and then all that happened is the miners found a way around it, hacked the software, and unlocked it anyways. That happened last time they tried to gimp the hash rate too. So it's kind of like a pointless thing to do. So, anyways, speaking of that, there's someone I gotta DM quick and check in. There we go. DM someone. Private DM. I got some stuff going on behind the scenes, folks. Might have some sponsored videos coming your guys' way. Basically, it's just my normal videos, but there's like a 30-second ad. It's a sponsor. I'm getting big enough now where people might want to sponsor me. It's crazy. Don't have any yet, though, so for now, my videos are untainted by sponsorships. I don't really mind sponsorships in videos, to be honest. Not just because I make money. It's just, whatever. 30 fucking seconds. Skip it. I've read 2 different rumors that the Mario team is making a new DK for its 40th anniversary. That's cool. Imagine if, please no Mario Odyssey 2. Dude, the first one sold 20 million. Why wouldn't you want a second one? Imagine Wii Sports HD on the Switch and they give you an option to use motion controls. What would be the point in playing? I have no idea. What would be the point in playing? Do you know of Destin Ligari? Destin? Why does the name Destin sound familiar? Destin. I do not know of a Destin Ligari, that's for sure. 608 subscribers? I have never heard of this guy. Unless that's not the guy you're talking about. How do you think... How do you think Nintendo could avoid the scalpers doing the same joke they did with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X? How could they avoid the same story not repeating when they release the Switch Pro? They can't. Here's what happened. We now know. I just did a video on this. Clearly didn't watch it. It's okay. Here's what happened. When there's 2 major semiconductor companies out there. One of them is Samsung. The other one is TSMC. They make basically all of the modern semiconductors. All of them. Those 2 companies do all of it. Okay? Those 2 companies do it for Apple, for NVIDIA, AMD, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft. It doesn't matter. They make everything. Okay? You cannot get a chip made without going through those companies. All right. So when you're doing your orders, you have to order 6 months to a year, sometimes 2 years in advance. You have to put your orders in. Okay? So that means you need to project what you think your system, your chip, whatever you're making, your graphics card, your CPU, you have to project what sales are going to be. So when PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X were going to go into mass production this last summer, summer of 2020, they projected 6 months to a year before that how many units they thought they were going to need for the given launch period. So they put in the order. They made projections. They said, hey, you know what? We think we're going to sell this many. That's how many we want. All right. What they couldn't have known at the time is that the pandemic was going to drive demand for game consoles in a way that has never been seen in the history of video games. Video game consoles have been going on for like 40 plus years, and we have never seen demand for video game consoles like we have literally right now. In 2021, we have never seen 3 systems be in this high of demand ever. It's never happened. We have never had PC components in this high of demand. We have never had game consoles from 3 different companies in this high of demand. Ever. We are in unprecedented territory as gamers. We have never seen this kind of demand for gaming equipment. Ever. It's never happened in the history of technology. Okay? So when they put those orders in, they didn't know demand was going to be as high as it is. So what did Sony do? Sony's like, hey, look, we did really good with the PlayStation 5. We made our orders roughly the same as we did for PlayStation 4. They ordered about the same amount of parts as they did for PlayStation 4. Xbox obviously didn't have that great of a gen with Xbox One, so they put in what they felt was a reasonable order for Xbox Series X and Series S. And they got all their chips. There was no delay. They got every single chip they ordered. The problem? Demand is significantly higher. You can't just blame scalpers. Scalpers aren't just they suck, but even if they didn't exist, even if scalpers did not exist, these products would be sold out. Why? Demand is roughly, they're estimating right now, 45% higher than the orders put in at these companies. So if demand is 45% higher than what was ordered, what are you going to do? And you have to put in your orders a year, 2 years in advance. So when is things going to get fixed? 2022. When the new orders come around and the orders are for more. So until then, they're just getting what they ordered. So the reason that you're not getting a PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, what are we, 5 months out now? Is because they didn't order enough of them. And they can't just magically order more chips. That's not how it works. They can't be like, oh, it's high demand, let's just order more chips. They can't. The manufacturers are already sold out to other people. They're sold out to Apple. They're sold out to AMD. They're sold out to NVIDIA. They're sold out, to Intel. They're sold out to all these other companies. Like, the manufacturing lines are sold out. They can't just buy more. All that's happening is they are getting exactly what they ordered and nothing more. So Sony and Xbox, Sony and Microsoft, AMD, NVIDIA, they underprojected what they needed to sell. Same thing for car manufacturers, by the way. You're hearing these stories about, the chip shortage. Car manufacturers are going to have to shut down their assembly lines. Yeah, because the car manufacturers cut their forecast and ordered less chips. And it turns out what happened during the pandemic is people didn't want to take public transport anymore. They didn't trust being around other people, so they started buying cars. So the car sales actually went up, not down. And they projected it was going to go down. So they ordered less chips. Now they can't keep up production. Everything stems back to over a year ago when these chips were ordered. They underprojected. The entire industry underprojected what sales demand was going to be because nobody knew what the hell was going to happen with the pandemic. Nobody even knew the pandemic was coming. And then when you had orders that came at the very beginning of the pandemic, everyone thought, people can't go to work. People are at home. People are going to make less money. If they have less money to spend, they're obviously not going to be buying $500 consoles. Turns out, the people that are interested in video games and interested in technology and interested in cars are the kind of people that don't really lose money by working at home. Their jobs can be done remotely. And because their jobs can be done remotely, they're more willing to buy shit because now they're at home. Now they make their own schedules. Now they have more free time. The time they used to have to waste driving to work can now be used to watch Netflix and listen to music and do, crap around the house. I mean, there's been more house projects and more crazy things going on in the last year, even at my house than at any time before. And so, what happened is nobody projected that the people that would buy these kind of goods, their jobs aren't in jeopardy. And because their jobs aren't in jeopardy, they're going to be buying shit like crazy. So nobody projected that. So nobody ordered enough parts. Now they're caught with their tail between their legs wondering, what the fuck do? We need more chips. We can't order more chips because the orders are all sold out now. Now we don't know what the fuck to do. They have to wait till the current contract ends and their next order comes in and they can order more then. Which again, not till 2022. And who knows even then, because now everyone's fighting over it. So, nothing's going to change till the pandemic ends. The pandemic needs to end so demand goes down. When demand goes down, things will be fine. But for now, as long as the pandemic's going on, that is what it is. What are you going to do? Can you get Trailer Drake on the... Who the heck is Trailer Drake? That is the guy you're talking about? Destin Ligari? Wait a second. Hold up. I recognize this guy. Did he work at IGN? Didn't Destin work at IGN? He does food videos now, it looks like. A bunch of cooking videos. Not a bunch. He's done 2, like 1 a week the last 2 weeks. He left IGN. I wonder what he's really doing. He's obviously not doing YouTube for a living. I wonder what he's actually doing. I recognize him now. Now that I saw his face. It's like, oh yeah, dude, that guy used to do some stuff at IGN. Who the heck is Trailer Drake? Bring up all these people that I don't recognize, but maybe I do know them. I have no idea. Trailer Jake. Trailer Jake. I don't see a YouTube channel called that. It could be a personality on a more generic channel name. Yeah, I don't know who Trailer Jake is. They're not coming up in my search. Hope Switch reaches 150 million. It could. It's possible. Let's see here. Just wanted to say that I couldn't disagree with your all-digital future video more. You make some points, but it really is worrying, especially with what Sony is doing now. So, Warp Chaos, you're bringing that up because Sony shut down PlayStation 3. What is it? PlayStation 3, PSP. And did it shut down Vita too? I can't remember. They shut down the online services. So, basically, you can't access the shop anymore, so you can't re-download your games. Right? So, you can't re-download your games. That's kind of what the worry is right now, right? You own a PlayStation 3, can't re-download your games. So, if your PlayStation 3 dies and you get a new one, or you get a new used one, obviously, you can't go and re-download your games. Right? That's the concern that people have. I'm assuming, right, Warp Chaos? Is that like the big concern people have with the shops being shut down? I want to make sure that that's why we're concerned with an all-digital future, because of the shops being shut down. I just want to make sure that that's the concern. I want to make sure because there is a fix for it, which I'll get into in a moment. No, the fix doesn't fix what's currently going on. I'm talking about in the future. It's a fix. A fix that Nintendo might actually be implementing, but we'll see. Yeah, I heard Reggie's leaving GameStop. Sounds like the CEO is leaving too. They're basically cleaned in house. He used to work on Game Theory. 90% positive. Okay, so Warpcast says yeah. So, okay. So, yeah, that's a problem. But that's a problem of the past. Here's the deal. What just happened with PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X? What just happened? Anyone tell me? What just happened with our new generation of consoles? No takers? Here's what happened. Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, they're fully backwards compatible. You can bring your entire PlayStation 4 library and your entire Xbox library, Xbox One library, over to the new systems. In addition to that, I'm not sure if you're aware, because maybe you don't own a Series X or own a PlayStation 5, when you go on their digital shops, all the games you bought are still there on your account, and you can download them directly. You don't even have to transfer them off your PlayStation 4 to an external drive and bring them over. You can just download them again. I can on my Series X right now, I can download digital games I bought on Xbox One. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, what does that mean that I can download those games on my current system? What that means is whenever the shop is shut down on Xbox One, whenever it's shut down on PlayStation 4, you didn't lose access to those games. You just need to buy a newer system. So what does this mean for the all-digital future? It means the platforms have already learned games have to be transferable generation to generation. We can't leave games behind anymore. PC doesn't leave games behind. Not anymore. They used to. There was a time when PC was. But ever since PC went to all digital, it doesn't leave games behind anymore. Same thing here. Games aren't going to be left behind anymore. All that's going to be happened is you might be forced to get new hardware eventually. You might be forced to get new hardware eventually. That's all. Now, what if you want to play PS3 games? Sony does offer a subscription service or something to do that, I believe. Not ideal, I know, because what about the games you already bought? I get that. And I get that Xbox is very unique in that you can literally take a disc from the original Xbox, like the OG giant VCR Xbox, not the Xbox One VCR one, the OG Xbox, and you can stick it in your Xbox Series X and it might actually work. But here's the thing. We can't change what happened with PlayStation 3. We can't here's why PlayStation 3 is fucked. PlayStation 3 used a cell processor. Sony took a gamble with a technology that nobody else was using. Just like they technically took a gamble with Blu-ray, and they were right on that gamble. Microsoft was wrong. Microsoft lost. They went with HD DVD, and that ended up not being the technology that won in the end. It was Blu-ray. But PlayStation 3 used a cell processor. Because they used a cell processor, all those PlayStation 3 games can't just run natively on a PlayStation 4. They can't run natively on a PlayStation 5. The way that architecture works is fucked. So when you talk about, but what about all those PlayStation 3 games? Yeah, Sony fucked up. They fucked up at a hardware level. It's not about the digital. The hardware is why you can't bring those games with you to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. And Sony knew that. Hence why Sony created a subscription service that lets you play PlayStation 3 games. Because they knew they fucked up. Those games need to be completely rewritten at a base code level to run on new systems. Because the architecture is just so fucking different. Just so different. It is so different than what is being done with current consoles that they can't just run. It doesn't just work. So, yeah, it sucks. But what does... here's what I ask you. What does a all-digital future... Okay. What does an all-digital future have to do with the past? We can't fix what happened with PlayStation 3. They fucked up back when the PlayStation 3 launched. The hardware was a bad choice. They fucked up then. We can't fix that fuck up today. Sony did the best they could, and they offered it in the subscription service. Now, you're probably going to bring up, and I think I saw you mention it, there's a large portion of PlayStation 4 games not available on PlayStation 5 right now. Let me grab the list. Because they're all going to be able to be played on PlayStation 5 eventually. But let me grab the list. Here's the games you can't play. Hold on. Here is the grand total of games. Let me make sure. When was this article written? Hold on. Okay. Yep. This literally is current as of 2 days ago. Here are the games on PlayStation 4 that cannot be played on PlayStation 5. These are the only games currently in existence on PlayStation 4 that we are aware of that do not work on PlayStation 5. Remember, Sony said not all games have been tested, but every game they throw at it works. So here are the games that if you take your PlayStation 4 digital copy or you take the disc and you stick it in your PlayStation 5, won't work. Afro Samurai 2, Revenge of Kuma Volume 1, Hitman Go Definitive Edition, Just Deal With It, Robinson the Journey, Shadwin, TT Isle of Man, Ride on the Edge 2, and We Sing. That's it. How many games are on PlayStation 4? That's 4 games. Or 7 games, sorry. There's 3,158 PlayStation 4 games. 7 don't work on your PlayStation 5. Now, there are some that work but have some issues. Okay, that is a real thing. There's a bigger list of games that work but do have some issues. Usually just like little graphical glitches. Like you might see like a pop-in or like a little triangle appear. Like they have some graphical glitches, but they work. Okay, so a bunch of the Assassin's Creed games like Chronicles, Syndicate, Batman: Return to Arkham City, some of the Dead or Alive games, the Dynasty Warriors. So they're some of the old MLB The Show games. They all work. They just have some graphical glitches, but technically they work. Technically they run. Technically you can download them and play them right on your system. Only 7 games from PlayStation 4 out of 3,000 plus factually won't run on a PlayStation 5. So are we really going to sit here and argue that the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 5 is not sufficiently backwards compatible? Is that really what we're trying to argue right now? Are we really trying to bring up because PlayStation 3's fucked because they fucked up at the hardware level, and oh my god, there's 7 games out of 3,000 plus that aren't backwards compatible. 7 games that you have probably never fucking played. Any of them. None of these games have massive fucking sales. There's been hardly, the few hundred people that played those games. Like, let's just be honest. It's not really a problem. It's not PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5. It's not really a problem. And that's kind of my point. If it's not really a problem now, it's not really going to be a problem on PlayStation 6 either, or PlayStation 7. You want to know why? Because the architecture is similar enough. And they're using a very common PC-like architecture now. So it's going to keep being similar enough in the future. You're going to be able to forward carry your libraries now. Now, are they still going to try to sell you remasters? Like they did with the Spider-Man game? Fuck yeah, of course they are. But can you still play the originals? Yeah, of course you can. Now, PlayStation 3, unique situation. You're fucked. They fucked up. They just did. They straight up fucked up. But an all-digital future can't change the fuck up. Can't change that they fucked up. Can't change the past. You can only worry about the future. PlayStation 5 can even play a PlayStation 4 game that's not even playable on PlayStation 4. That's Cyberpunk 2077. Technically, we don't even have a PlayStation 5 version of Cyberpunk yet. So it is factually just playing the PS4 game. That's funny. There's a bunch of PS3 games not on PS9. You're right. You're right. I told you. Here's the thing, Warp Chaos. Your argument for not being okay with an all-digital future, which, by the way, totally fine. You could be into your physical games. That's it's a personal choice. If you want physical, get physical. You want digital, get digital. It's a personal choice. There's no right or wrong choice. I mean, people who like physical media will tell you there's a wrong choice because they're afraid. But right now, we have both. So we have the best. I said this in the video. Currently, we have the best of all worlds. We have digital, everything's digital, and everything's physical. We have, well, not everything. Obviously, some indie games aren't. But when it comes to AAA. So we have the best of all worlds right now. So nobody should be bitching right now. Maybe you're just worried about bitching in the future. But here's the thing. When you're talking about PlayStation Now and the PlayStation 3 games, there's a bunch of games not on it. You're right. What's an all-digital future going to do to fix that? Or let me autocorrect. What's current element right now. Let's say PlayStation 6, PlayStation 7, PlayStation. The next 10 PlayStations all still have physical and digital, right? How does that fix PlayStation 3? Your concern that you're bringing up because Sony fucked up with PlayStation 3. How does anything they do in the future fix that fuck up? They can't go back and change the hardware. So nothing they can do moving forward will fix that fuck up. And when you talk about there's a bunch of games not on PS now, you're right, because of licensing issues. They can't do anything about that either. They fucked up. That's why, heck, Xbox 360 games, Xbox games, backwards compatible with your Series X. Why the fuck can't that be with PlayStation 5? Well, different media. I'm not sure about the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, why those ones can't work, but that's a different conversation, and obviously they didn't have digital for those systems, so people aren't as concerned about those systems because it was all physical back then. But when it comes to PlayStation 3, yeah, a lot of people partook in digital on PlayStation. Not as many as people like to make it out to be, but there were people that did. That partook in digital games on PlayStation 3. And guess what? Sony fucked up. They can't change that fuck up. They can't fix it. So, what the fuck does an all-digital future have to do with the PlayStation 3? They can't fix it. All digital, it could be an all physical future. It doesn't fix the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation 3 is just fucked. It was a fucked generation from the word launch. The moment they launched the system, it was fucked. And Sony realized it when the Xbox 360 was spanking its fucking ass. They're like, holy shit, we fucked up. Spanked our ass. It's got worse hardware, but games look better on it. Fuck, we fucked up. Sony fucked that whole generation. That PlayStation 3 generation is just... Sony fucked it. So yeah, it sucks what happened. But guess what? We just moved on to a next generation, and it didn't happen with PlayStation 4. You can carry your whole library to PlayStation 5. Couldn't carry your PlayStation 3 library to PlayStation 4. Why? Because the architecture was so fucking different. Sony decided we're done fucking around. We're done. By the way, Sony could have made it so you could have moved your PlayStation 3 library to PlayStation 4. They could have just kept using the cell processor. It would have been a really fucking stupid move, and Microsoft would have been spanking the fucking shit out of Sony. But they could have kept going down that route. But they knew it would be stupid from a technology standpoint to keep going down the cell processor route, because that'd be the only fucking people in the world using it. So they decided, no, we're going to go more PC component route, more x86, x64 route, like Microsoft does, and that's what we're going to stick with moving forward. And in doing that and sticking with it moving forward, you're seeing the benefits of it right now. You're seeing that, guess what? 99.9% of PlayStation 4 games just work on PlayStation 5. Why? Because they were smart and they went with a more common technology. Why can Microsoft go all the way back to the OG Xbox? Because Microsoft has been using fucking PC architecture from the word go. So, when we talk about an all-digital future, there's literally nothing preventing games from moving to the next generation of hardware, the next generation of hardware, the next generation of hardware. There's no barriers for that now. That's my point with the all-digital future. We can't fix PlayStation 3's fuck up. We can't. Sony made a massive mistake. But they rectified it with the PlayStation 4 and made sure that PlayStation 4 wasn't going to get fucked. So Sony did the best they could. They fucked up. They changed course, and they made sure moving forward, the PlayStation 4 wasn't going to get left behind with digital games. PlayStation 5 is not going to get left behind with digital games. PlayStation 6, PlayStation 7, however long they keep it going for, won't be left behind with digital games. Now, yeah, again, they try to give you PS Now. to give you PS3 games, and obviously go back, play some old school PS2 and PS1 as well. But like they try to give you an ability to play some of those PS3 games still, but licensing reasons, they're not going to get them all back. This is the same reason like SNES and NES Online. It's missing so many games. Like, how many licensing issues there are to get games. Like, of course, it's missing a shitload of games. And that's the problem. It's always a problem, except when things are fully backwards compatible, which we just are in a generation where shit's fully backwards compatible. If nothing else, PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X are kind of proving grounds that we're ready for an all-digital future, in my opinion. Now, personally, would I like things to never change? Sure. I'd like a world where Game Pass can exist, digital sales can exist, and physical games are still a thing. Just like I like a world with movies where we have Netflix, but I can still buy Blu-rays. I can still go to movie theaters. Right now, we're kind of in a mix of, we have the best of all worlds. You can still have a cable subscription if you want, or you can have an online streaming TV service, or you can buy just individual sports streaming stuff if you want, or you can have Netflix or Hulu, or you can go to movie theaters, or you can buy Blu-rays. We kind of are in a world right now with like TV and movies where like there's just options for everybody. And it's awesome. And I would love that to continue for games. We are with that with games right now. Heck, with Stadia, we have streaming options. Like, we have options for everything as a gamer right now. That's why it's like the greatest possible generation of gaming is happening right before our eyes. We have more user choice in how we want to play, where we want to play. You want to play fucking... B tier, sometimes A tier games on your fucking phone, you can do that these days. They exist. There are great games on phones now. There's also simplistic games, and there's nothing wrong with those either. Like, we are in the greatest generation of gaming, in my opinion, ever. Because there's just an option for everybody. There's no barriers anymore. The barriers to entry are gone. And now anybody can game. Even disabled people. But people are worried because those that prefer physical are worried a time might come when that doesn't happen. It's kind of like people with movies are worried a time's going to happen where we can't go to a movie theater anymore. People are legitimately worried we won't be able to go to movie theaters, in 10 years. People are worried that they won't be able to order a Blu-ray copy of a big time movie someday, right? Like, people are worried that there might be a time that happens. It's not here yet. We've been worried about it for fucking 10 years and it hasn't happened yet, but people are worried. And that same thing might be true for video games. People are worried because we have some digital only consoles that, oh my God, we're not going to have physical games, but it hasn't happened yet. We've been worrying about it with movies forever. Hasn't happened yet. Been worried about it with music. People bring up music all the time. Oh, yeah, there's no CDs anymore. Really? Have you gone to Walmart? They have a whole section. Oh, but it's just old music. No, it's not. Pick your favorite artist. There's a brand new album out for him sitting on the shelf. There's a brand new... No, now that's what I call music with all the pop music on it. Because some of the artists aren't doing albums anymore. They're just releasing individual songs. Like... They're still there. You can still get them. Hasn't gone away yet. Makes up 20% of industry sales. That 20% is still a big enough number to keep physical media around. So, like, we're not there. We're not to a point where we need to worry that physical is going away. We're in the greatest generation of options right now. So, I personally want this to never end. But am I cool with an all-digital future? I mostly buy just digital games right now. And I'm perfectly happy doing it, so... Sure. I'm all right with that. It also helps, and this is something I bring up. I think there's a divide among gamers. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Shout out to everyone in the chat who's listening to this rant. There is a divide among gamers right now. That divide is basically people who care a lot, or at least act like they care a lot, about old games. And people that don't give a shit and just worry about the new ones. There's a divide. in the video game industry right now with gamers. Like Warp Chaos is caring a lot about, look what happened with PlayStation 3. I can't tell you the last time I played a Wii game. I'm just using a comparison from the same generation because I didn't play PlayStation 3. I can't tell you the last time I played a Wii game. I can't tell you the last time I felt the urge to boot up a Wii and play a Wii game. I can't tell you the last time I felt the urge to boot up a Wii U and play a Wii U game. I can't tell you the last time I had an urge to boot up my Switch and play Mario Odyssey. Now, Mario Odyssey 2, fuck yeah, let's go. But I already beat Mario Odyssey. I don't really have an urge to go back to a game I played 4 years ago. So, like, that's me. And I recognize there's a whole nother side of the coin. There's people that care greatly and constantly replay their old games. But that's the divide. The divide is people pissed about PlayStation 3. Are you pissed on principle, or are you pissed because now you actually won't be able to play games that you want to play? And see, Warp Chaos, look what you're doing right now. You're kind of contributing to an elitist attitude. True gamers love the classics. What does that even mean? I love the classics. Doesn't mean I have an urge to play them. I have a SNES and NES Classic in my house. Doesn't mean I have an urge to plug them in and play it. True gamers love the classics. Loving the classics and wanting to play them are two different things. I grew up with the classics. I grew up with them. Doesn't mean I want to play them. I want to play something new. I don't want to play old. I want to play new. I already played the old. I played that shit. Spent hundreds of hours on that shit. Thousands of hours in my lifetime. Probably millions of hours in my lifetime if I actually add it all up. Like, I don't really want to go play those games again. I want to, like, when I think about Zelda, I want to play Breath of the Wild 2. I don't want to go back and play A Link to the Past. I already played A Link to the Past. I beat it like 4 times. I'm good. I don't need to play it again. Now, if they remake it and they give me a reason to play it with new visuals or something, sure, I'll play that like they did with Link's Awakening. But barring that, I don't really need to replay it. I'm good. I'll probably never play A Link to the Past again unless they remake it or remaster it. I literally will probably never play that game again. Don't have a reason to. I've already played it a bunch. I'm good. I want to play new. I want the new Zelda game. I don't want the old. I already experienced it. I loved it. It was great. I'm good. I want a new experience. Same thing with movies. Like, I don't rewatch movies a lot either. I own a bunch of movies. I don't really ever rewatch them. There's a few select movies I'll rewatch, right? A few select, like Dumb and Dumber, right? I'll still rewatch that. But, I mean, that's just me. Like, I just don't like the whole, like, calling people, you're not a true gamer if you don't enjoy the classics. Like, that's stupid. Why are we getting elitist now? Why are we diminishing gamers because they're not in the classic games? Like, I don't understand that either. Like, why are we diminishing? Don't diminish people. We don't have to diminish people for not liking the things we like. It's one of the stupidest things that happens in society is where we diminish others or we call them lesser of something because they don't like what we like. In the end, it's okay to not like what other people like. You don't like my opinion, then I'm cool with an all-digital future. And that's okay. But what's not okay is for you to diminish me for not liking the things that you like. I'm not diminishing you for the way that you feel. I just think it's insulting now to categorize people as true gamers and make other people feel like less of a gamer because they're not playing the classics. It's kind of dumb. Let's see here. Multi-plat master, dude. I'm all on that multi-plat master race right now. This is the first generation I have everything, so I can play everything. It's awesome. Love it. I'm playing like a different system every day. It's great. PS5 is a scam PC emulator. What? What are you talking about, Dark Charizard? Stop fanboying. Dark Charizard, please stop fanboying, man. You're not doing yourself any favors. You are not doing yourself any favors, man. Stop fanboying right now. Every argument you made is a fanboy anti-Sony argument. Please, just stop. Don't just you're making yourself look like a child. I don't know if you are a child, but you're making yourself look like one the way you're arguing. So just don't use those arguments, man. You're sounding like the same people that say that Switch is for kids, and that all Xbox fans are dude bros. Metacritic. Wow. So it's a fact. PS4 only has 6 games rated 85 or higher on Metacritic. Well, I'm on Metacritic. In fact, can I show you guys this? Hold on. Let me put this on my other screen. I want to show you guys this. So the guy just said that PS4 only has 6 games on it rated 85 or better. I already knew that was wrong, but I was like, let me just double check. Because when you consider a platform, you gotta consider the sum of the whole platform, right? You don't just be like, oh, I'm gonna exclude these games because no, can you fucking play the game on PlayStation 4? Then okay. So let me bring this up here. Let me display capture here. Let me throw this in here. Let's add source. No, we don't want that one. We want that one. Let me bring this down here. All right. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just go. Let's just full screen this sumbitch. Or something like that. There we go. Let's just, whatever. Good enough. All right. So, all right. Only 6 games over 85. Well, here's 1 at 97. Here's 2 at 97. Here's 3 at 95. Last of Us Remastered at 95. God of War at 94. Last of Us Part 2 at 93. Oh, wait. That's 6 above 90 already. Oh, it keeps going. Persona 5. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, Uncharted 4, Thief's End. Let's see here. Journey, which was ported over. Bloodborne, Undertale, Witcher 3, Wild Hunt. Oh, we're still out of the 90s yet. Divinity 2 Original Sin Definitive Edition. Final Fantasy, Shadow of the Colossus, Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, Blood and Wine. That was DLC. Celeste, Inside, Nier Automata, Resident Evil 2. Oh, man, we're still not out of the 90s yet. Flower, Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition, Overwatch, Shovel Knight, Rayman Legends, Fez, Monster Hunter World. We're still going. Tales of the Borderlands Episode 5, another Witcher 3. God, Witcher 3 is just such a fucking killer game. It really makes me sad what happened with Cyberpunk when you see how awesome Witcher 3 was. Sekiro, Shadow Dies Twice, Astrobot Rescue Mission, Monster Hunter World Iceborne, Res Infinite, Titanfall 2. Finally, we're down into the 80s. Dark Souls 3, Tetris Effect, Final Fantasy again, Bastion, Apex Legends, Dreams, Dragon Age Inquisition, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, Battlefield 1, Horizon Zero Dawn, Minecraft, What Remains of Edith Finch, Binding of Isaac, Nier Automata. I'm still waiting to get below 85 here. We're 50 plus games in, by the way, and we're still not down to 85. Rise of the Tomb Raider, 20-year celebration, NBA 2K17, Dishonored 2, Injustice 2, Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition, Devil May Cry 5, Slay the Spire, Owlboy. Still waiting here. Keep talking and nobody explodes. Talos the Principal, Pistol Whip. Still going. Neo. Are we even going to get down to 85 in the top 100 here? Kentucky Route Zero, Guacamole, Frostpunk, Bloodborne, XCOM 2, Injustice 2, The Witness, Dead Cells, Sid Meier's Civilization 6, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition, Night in the Woods, Dragon Ball Fighters, Batman Arkham Knight, Marvel Spider-Man, Okami HD, Towerfall, Monster Boy, FIFA 14, Doom Eternal, Pro Evolution Soccer, Zero Escape, Wolfenstein 2, Odin Sphere, Dark Souls 2, Sonic Mania Plus, NBA 2K16. Man, where are we going here? We're almost 100 games in, and we're not at 85 yet. Spelunky, Fallout 4, Uncharted: The Nathan Drake Collection, Tales of the Borderlands: The Telltale Game Series, F1 2017, Velocity 2X, Stardew Valley, F1 2020, Dragon Quest Builders 2. Oh, look, not a single game in the top 100 on PlayStation 4 is below 85. Now, you're probably going to be like, oh, well, okay, then fairly compare that to Switch. I mean, because, we have to, just be fucking stupid and talk about how, there's nothing to play on PlayStation 4. It's just a bunch of bullshit. Well, let's just scroll on down. Oh, wait. Oh, look, we're in the 85s, and we're not even at 100. I already knew there wasn't 100 games on Switch rated over 85. So you're going to sit here and use Metacritic. There are more games rated 85 or higher on PlayStation 4 overall than there is on Switch. Now, does that mean Switch fucking sucks? Of course it doesn't. But it's just how stupid of a metric that is. I mean, hell, let's go to Xbox. Let's just be fair. Let's go across the board. Let's go to last gen Xbox. Best games of all time. Let's see where it turns for Xbox here. Oh, look, there's more games rated 85 or higher on Xbox as well. Look at that. All the way down. The whole top 100 on Xbox is 85 or higher. Better than Switch. Doesn't mean the system's better. That's how stupid the argument is. The point is there's something to play for everyone no matter what platform you buy. That's the whole point. There is something for everyone no matter what platform you buy. Is a lot of the third party on the other platforms? Sure. Who fucking cares? Games aren't any less because they're multi-platform or third party. So it doesn't fucking matter. Exclusives are not the only fucking thing that matter in the whole goddamn world. Swear to fucking Christ. It's so fucking stupid. Any argument that games don't matter. They're all multiplats. All available on PC or other consoles. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Hold on. Well, let's be fair. We didn't bring up PC. So here's PC. Oh, let's keep going. Just going on down. So I'm in the top 100 here on PC. All 90s and above, of course, because PC, this is just of all time. PC's obviously, it's a kind of an unfair comparison, since PC can have all games, pretty much ever. But like a lot of these games that you're seeing here, some of them aren't on PC. A lot of the Madden games are not on PC. Some of the NBA games aren't on PC. Those are just ones I know off the top of my head. Obviously, there's a lot of games that are on PC as well. But here's my point. Here's the point. To dismiss a platform because games are on PC, or because games are on Xbox, or who cares about The Witcher fucking 3 because it's on fucking Switch, is to be ignorant as a gamer. It's to be ignorant as a gamer. Never mind that PC components haven't always been affordable to even game at a decent frame rate or resolution. Never mind that PCs are still massively more expensive than home consoles. Never mind that there's still convenience factors with Switch where you could stick a cartridge in and not have to download anything and instantly play a game. Never mind that you could play Switch on the go. Never mind that for a while it was actually better to play a home console on a TV than a PC on a TV because there were some incompatibilities with the HDMI ports and current TVs that led to TVs not running at full resolution for a while. Never mind that there's always been some hardware incompatibilities at times. Never mind that, sure, games on PlayStation 4, like Bloodborne or whatever, eventually come to PC, but they come to PC 8 years later. Like, not 8 years, but you know what I mean. They come later. Like, here's the thing. Here's the deal. Making arguments, fanboy-driven arguments, is fucking stupid. So, Dark Charizard, as you're sitting over there laughing, tell me, Does Monster Hunter Rise matter tomorrow? Does Monster Hunter Rise matter tomorrow for Switch? I'm just a dead serious question. Does it matter tomorrow? Releases tomorrow. Doesn't matter. Does that game matter for Switch? Does it add any value to Switch? Are sales of Switch going to go up because Monster Hunter Rise releases on it tomorrow? I'm just asking Dark Charizard. Just Dark Charizard. Not other people. I'm just asking just Dark Charizard. I know other people are going to have their own opinions. But does it factually matter for Switch that it comes out tomorrow? Okay. So you don't care about sales, but you said yes, it'll help sales, especially in Japan. So would you say Monster Hunter Rise matters then? It matters for Switch, correct? You don't care. You don't have to care about the game and stuff. But I'm asking you, does the game matter for the platform? It matters to gamers, and yes. I just caught you being a hypocrite. Monster Hunter Rise is releasing on PC in 2022. Guess what? It's a multi-platform game and it's on PC. You just got caught in your own fucking stupidity, dumbass. Yeah, I just called you a fucking dumbass. You just got caught in your own stupidity. You just showed your bias. Yes, PlayStation 4 games, Sony exclusives come to PC years later. Monster Hunter Rise is releasing on Switch tomorrow. It's on PC next year. Gotcha. So don't come at me about your biased bullshit. No, you said that. No. Dark Charizard, go read your comments. You said these games don't matter because they're multi-platform and on PC. You just said these PlayStation games do not matter because they're multi-platform and on PC. Don't matter. You just told me, but it matters for Switch? No. You said they don't matter. You said doesn't matter. Read your own comments. You said these games do not matter because they're also on PC and other platforms. But suddenly Monster Hunter Rise matters? Sony only has 6 exclusives. Holy shit. So Sony only has 6 exclusives. Hold on, my mic's being fucking weird. 1 second. Spinning this around for a second. All right. PlayStation only has 6 exclusives. Now you're gonna say if anything rated under 85 is a bad game, and that's gonna be your response. That's always going to be your response. Hold on. I never said it's an exclusive. What the fuck are you talking about? Dark Charizard. When I brought up all those games that were rated 85 and over, I'm going to go up right now. You want me to screenshot your own comment? I'm going to screenshot your own comment. I know you keep bringing up exclusives. And you want to know why I'm ignoring your exclusive remarks. I'm going to tell you why I'm ignoring your exclusive remarks. Okay? Because you're shouting. You're shouting now. You're caps locking. You're shouting. Here's why I'm going to ignore your exclusive remarks. Just hold on, guys. Here's why I'm ignoring your exclusive remarks. A vast majority of gamers are playing multi-platform games. A majority of gaming is multi-platform. Minecraft, 200 million players. How many fucking platforms is that on? GTA 5, 80 million plus players. How many fucking platforms is that on? A majority of gamers play multi-platform games, which kind of makes multi-platform games extremely fucking important. To ignore multi-platform games because they're multi-platform. And to say that multi-platform games do not add value to a system is a very asinine statement. So to sit there and say, laugh, PlayStation 4 is stupid because LOLOL 6 exclusive games or whatever the fuck you're arguing because the rest of the exclusives eventually come to PC. Okay? To sit there and make that argument is to argue. This is why I brought it up. To make that argument is to also argue that multi-platform games don't matter. Okay, so Dark Charizard. PS4 has little to no value. Only Xbox is worse. Think about your statement. You just said Monster Hunter adds value to Switch. Monster Hunter Rise adds value to Switch tomorrow. But it's also coming to PC. How can Monster Hunter add value to a platform if it's multi-platform? By your own logic, Monster Hunter Rise doesn't matter for Switch tomorrow. It's irrelevant. Doesn't help sales, doesn't increase value of the platform. It's irrelevant. Doesn't matter. No, Dark Charizard, read your own comments, man. Read your own comments. Look what you said. You said, and I quote, here it is. You just said it again. There's no need to buy PlayStation 4 if you have a PC. PlayStation 4 has little to no value. What does that mean? That means to you, games that are available on PlayStation 4 but are also on other platforms add no value to PlayStation 4. But how does a game coming out on Switch tomorrow that's also on PC add value to Switch? You explain that to me. How can you ignore that multi-platform games add value to a system, but then go on to claim a different system that's getting a different multi-platform game? It adds value to that system. How does Monster Hunter Rise add more value to Switch tomorrow than Bloodborne did on PlayStation 4 back when it launched? Explain it to me. How does Monster Hunter Rise add more value to Switch that's also coming to PC than Bloodborne that originally launched on PlayStation 4 and later came to PC did for PlayStation 4? Explain that to me. How can one add value when the other does not? It adds value if you want to play in handheld mode. It adds sales value. Okay. So question. It adds sales value. You're right. Sales value. Because the value of a system is what increases sales of a system. Here's what I'm trying to argue, Dark Charizard, okay? PlayStation platforms have sold 100 million plus every single time besides PlayStation 3. Clearly, your opinions that PlayStation platforms are not valuable do not align with a majority of gamers. PlayStation 4 versions of games outsell the PC versions of games. You can make your argument till the cows come home that if you're a PC gamer, there's no reason to own an Xbox. There's no reason to own a PlayStation 4. And that's fine. To you, there's no reason to own those platforms. To you. I mean, ignoring the fact that, hey, these console versions of games that run on PC tend to run like fucking dog shit on PC. That's a whole nother... It pisses me off that happens, but... The point I'm making is that you personally don't find value in the system and you laugh at it. But 100 million plus consumers are laughing right back at you and find plenty of value. They get to play all these PlayStation 4 exclusives before you PC Master Race people do. So, yes, I asked about sales. Because sales are what determine if something's valuable. Wii U had a shitload of exclusives too, and guess what? Nobody fucking bought it. It wasn't valuable. Wii U is not a valuable system. Because nobody bought it. It had exclusives. Had a bunch of them. Nobody bought it. Guess what? Value isn't just about exclusives. If Wii U was truly a valuable platform, Dark Charizard, it wouldn't have got canceled after 4 years. See, to you, the only thing that matters is exclusives. And that's fine. For your personal reasons, Wii U is a more valuable platform. And that's more power to you. That's your personal, humble opinion. I'm just letting you know that consumers disagree with you. If something doesn't sell, it's because consumers don't find value in it. If something is valuable, people want it. People want things that are valuable. Why do you think Nintendo Switch is heading into its 5th year and hasn't had a price cut? Because it's still selling like hotcakes. Because it's valuable. People want it. Why do you think we can't find a PlayStation 5 on store shelves after 5 months, despite the fact there's like no exclusive games? Well, Astro Boy and Demon Souls remaster or whatever. But like there's basically like no exclusive games. But it's sold out. Because people find it to be valuable. Maybe they don't find it to be valuable for the reasons you think they should. You think people should only find it to be valuable if it has a bunch of exclusive games. But that's your personal choice. That's your personal preference. Your personal choice and your personal preference does not reflect the marketplace. The marketplace speaks with their wallet. And the marketplace is telling you they want PlayStation 5. They want Xbox Series X right now. They want Switch. And they want them for vastly different reasons, probably. I have no idea. So that's kind of the point. When I brought up the Monster Hunter thing, it was because if you think Monster Hunter Rise adds any sort of value to Switch, any sort of value, whether it's sales or just, especially, or whatever value you think it adds, if it adds any value at all to the platform, it's hypocritical to then argue that other multi-platform games don't add value. As an example, let's say Switch. Let's just focus on Switch. Switch has a shitload of exclusives, right? It does. It also has a shitload of ports, but it has a shitload of exclusives, okay? So, here's the deal. It has a shitload of exclusives, but isn't the value of Switch also increased because you can play The Witcher 3 on it? Or Doom Eternal? Don't having those games on the platform make it just a little bit more valuable to consumers? Because not only are you getting your exclusives, hey, I can also play Doom Eternal. I can also play The Witcher 3. Now, you'll probably use the classic cop-out argument, oh, but you can play it on the go. You can't play PC games on the go? Laptops don't exist? GPD Win 3 doesn't exist? Since when can't you take PC on the go? You've been able to take PC on the go since I was a kid. See what I'm saying? Like, the point is that Sony shouldn't act like a console is much more than a PC emulator. Well, for starters, for someone who apparently loves PC, what you really should look at PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X as are just pre-built PCs. They're not PC emulators. They're factually using PC components. They are PCs. They are custom-built PCs. Here's a fun fact for you. Every console that's ever been made is just a pre-built, custom-built PC. You know what happens and why consoles matter? The reason they matter is because they set a baseline for game development. When you talk about it being a PC emulator, what you're really saying is, oh, it's just, they're just PCs at this point. You're right. Game consoles have always just been PCs. They're always just been using computer components pre-built in a custom setup, which is exactly what they're still doing to this day. But what they do is they set a baseline for game development. For the next 5 or 6 years, game development will be based on the baseline that PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X set. Not the baseline of a 3090, not the baseline of a 5950X. Okay? PC, the top end PC components out there. And actually, there's actually even higher end for CPUs if you go into the Epic line and then whatever. Anyways, point is, games aren't built based on those top end PC specs. But you know what they're based on? The specs of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. But if they don't matter, then why are game developers catering to those baseline specs? Because that's where the consumer base is, because the consumer base likes to buy games for their consoles. They find value in having those systems. They find value in buying a system today that they know in 6 years is still going to play games, still going to be able to play all the new games. That's value to consumers. You could buy a PC part today that might not be able to handle new games in 6 years. My Ryzen 2700X, I don't know if in 6 years it can handle the latest and greatest games at 60 FPS. I have no idea. It might not be able to. But I know my PlayStation 5 will. I know my Xbox Series X will. Switch, well, it'll be replaced in 6 years, but it's also been on the market longer. So, in the end, we need to be more accepting as gamers. I'm going to end this stream right now. I got to go. Cheers to that $5 super chat. I did see that $5 super chat. Thank you so much for that. What I'm saying is, we need to be respectful to gamers of all types. We need to be respectful to all types of gamers. My Dark Charizard, I totally respect that all you care about is exclusives. And that's fine. That's fine. Only care about exclusives. That's your prerogative. I mean, I don't think you only care about that because you clearly PC game. And if you want to argue, LOL, all those games are on PC, well, most PC games are elsewhere as well. But, I mean, we're not going to get into that debate. That's a totally different argument, and that's fine. The point is that respect gamers of all types. Yeah, there's people who like playing on Sony. Yeah, there's people who like playing on Xbox. There's people who like playing on Nintendo, and there's people who like playing on PC. We all have our various different reasons that we choose to play on those platforms. There are some things that are just more convenient on a PlayStation 5 versus a PC. There's things that are more convenient on the Series X versus a PC. Convenience matters. Game consoles have always been relevant because of convenience. They're cheaper and they're convenient. That's what consoles are. It's not necessarily about exclusives. Sony blew up not because of exclusives back in the day. It blew up because of price point and convenience. That's still true to this day. PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, for the type of visuals and frame rates they push out, are cheaper than PC components today. In fact, can't even get those PC components today. You don't need to get a PlayStation 5. You can get a controller for PC. If someone wanted to let Dark Charizard know that not everyone has a gaming-capable PC. What was the most popular PC? What was the most popular computer to sell in the last year? 12 million of them sold. Nothing to scoff at. What was the most popular system to sell in the last year, computer-wise? Chromebooks. Chromebooks sold 12 million Chromebooks in 2020. It was the most popular PC to sell. Not even close. 12 million Chromebooks. Chromebooks are not gaming capable. You can't just buy a controller for Chromebook and play Rise of the Tomb Raider. You can't just buy a controller for Chromebook and play Bloodborne. It doesn't work. You know what's also cheaper, Dark Charizard? Just buy a PlayStation 5 and not a PC. And by the way, it's really funny to argue to buy a $700 PC right now when you can't get PCs for that price right now. PC components are just fucked at the moment. But you keep holding the opinion you have. Those $700 PCs that you're supposedly buying that can output at 4K 60 FPS. You enjoy that. It's already been proven by literally people way more intelligent than me that you can't build a PC today for under $1,000 that can outperform a PlayStation 5. It's already been proven. You literally can't build a PC right now that outperforms a PlayStation 5 for $1,000. But Most people change PCs in 4 to 6 years. Dark Charizard, I don't know what to tell you except that you're just making a baseless assumption. I've worked in IT for over a decade, including a Geek Squad at Best Buy. Let me tell you, people do not change their PCs out every 4 to 6 years. You know the people that do? Gaming enthusiasts. People that invest way more money than they should into video games. Most general consumers that are interested in just playing games don't buy a new computer every 4 to 6 years. They don't even buy a PlayStation 5 when it comes out. They hold on to that PlayStation 4 for 8, 10 years. They run it till it doesn't fucking run anymore. I have worked in freaking IT for so long. Fucking businesses don't even move on from computers every 4 to 6 years, let alone general consumers at home. My mom still games on a fucking Wii. Consumers don't move on like you think they do. Only the enthusiasts care about early adoption and replacing shit every 4 to 6 years. And those early adopters and those gaming enthusiasts make up a very, very tiny fraction of the people that actually play video games. According to surveys. You know the surveys you're reading that talk about, oh, they replace their computer every 4.5 years? They're talking... I know exactly what survey you were talking about. Did you actually read the context of that survey? You're right. Every 4 to 6 years, people get a new computer. And on average, that computer's a Chromebook. Oh my God. You realize that most people don't even buy desktop PCs, right? Like... oh. Desktop PCs are like such a tiny fraction of the people who game on computers. It's so funny. Most people game on laptops and they're gaming on fucking shitty Chromebooks. Like, what? You're right, they replace them every 4 to 6 years with another $200 Walmart special. That they're just happy they can fucking play League of Legends. Why do you think the most popular PC games are Among Us, League of Legends, Fortnite, World of Warcraft? They're all games that you can fucking play on a Chromebook. You're living in PC elitist territory, man. You're literally an elitist. You don't actually know what's happening in the general consumer. But you're right. People do get new computers every 4 to 6 years. They get shitty $200 to $300 Walmart fucking specials, or they buy a fucking Chromebook that can play League of Legends at fucking 35 FPS. Congratulations. Context matters behind these surveys, man. You can't... Oh, God. Oh, my God. Show you the evidence. Show you the evidence. I just told you the most popular PC to sell in 2020 was Chromebook at 12 million. Here, I'll link you to it. Most popular PC to sell in 2020 was, in terms of sales. Sorry, I didn't. Hold on. Well, maybe they have it here. Hold on. Let me read this quick. Oh, here it is. PC Mag, January 20th, 2020. it says, and I quote, PC sales, pre-built, because by the way, most people don't build their own computers. That surveys have already shown that most people don't build their own computer. Only the enthusiasts build their own computers. So people are buying pre-builts. They buy pre-built PCs or they buy laptops. Laptop sales made up 80% of all PC sales last year. Of the laptop sales, 78% of those were made up of Chromebook at 12 million, at 11.8 million, sorry. Maybe more correct here, 11.8 million Chromebook sales last year. Represented 68% of the PC sales market last year. Now, let's just look at Steam, by the way, is not always the best way to look at things. Because Steam, again, is more of an enthusiast marketplace. But you can look up some of the Steam charts out there that'll show you what resolution are people gaming at. You know, still 1080p. 1080p is still the standard. While PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X are sitting there pounding out 4K, people are still gaming at 1080p on PC because that's just what they have. That's what they game at. They game at 1080p. That's what their hardware outputs. That's what their laptop screens are. They're 1080p. Like, those stats are out there as well for you. Anyways, I gotta go. I've spent an extra 20 minutes. You're missing my point. People aren't buying the $300 Chromebook to game. They're getting it so they can word process. I'm telling you right now, Dark Charizard, find me an $800 laptop, just $800, that you're going to game at 4K 60 on max settings. Find me one. And you're going to be like, well, build an $800. Fine. Build me an $800. Go to PC Part Picker right now. Build me an $800 desktop that can game at 4K 60. Go to PC Part Picker and build me an $800 computer right now. Go there with MSRP price. Let's assume we could buy components. Go build me an $800 PC that can game at 4K 60. Because that's what we're talking about here. PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X 4K 60. Forget the 120 FPS claims. 4K 60. Go to PC Part Picker right now. Build me an $800 PC that's outputting that 4K 60. And has an SSD, by the way. SSDs should be a bare minimum requirement at this point, but keep in mind, these are using Gen 4 SSDs. So we're talking about Gen 4 motherboards, Gen 4 processors, Gen 4 GPUs. We're not even getting into ray tracing yet. Let's not even touch on ray tracing because I think ray tracing on consoles is bullshit. I think that's just they shouldn't be even talking about that. All right. I'm going to go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you had a lovely stream. I had some fun. Thank you for that $10 super chat, by the way. I saw it. I'm not going to ban them, but I have fun with people like that sometimes. All right. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out. Whoa.